This is part 2 of the ATV overnight adventure. If you're just now joining us in, you completely missed part 1 and you missed a whole bunch. You need to go back and watch part 1. Thanks for watching. Alright guys, as you can see, the sun is going down. I don't know if you can see it or not. But I got about an hour, I'd say about an hour left of sunlight, and fire went ahead and burned out, but did what I wanted to do. And yeah, I'm gonna get flames going again so I can get to cooking dinner. Got a lot done. Got a lot of review videos done, and actually you'll be seeing those before you see this. So if you're a subscriber to the channel, you'll know what I'm talking about and you'll recognize the settings. But we're going to go ahead and use one of these super matches again. Did alright the last time. Might as well try it out again. Like I said, I went ahead and I had batteries charging, so went ahead and got some of oh, don't fall down. Went ahead and got a good pile of firewood built up. Just gathered up. I didn't process or anything. And honestly, like I said, I'm not needing this fire for warmth tonight. It's still 75 degrees and we're an hour away from dark. So this is mainly just for cooking on and ambiance, I guess you could say. It lit up again. Blinded me in the process too. So I'm just going to layer here. Oop. Try not to put it out while I'm doing it. These things didn't do too bad the last time. I ain't gonna really complain about how it did it, but in all honesty, it's not something I would want to solely rely on. Let's see here. I wouldn't want to rely just on these. This is something that definitely, in my mind, could fail very easily on you, and you wouldn't. I don't know. I've been in a few situations where pretty much out of luck when it came to fire when you needed it, and don't ever really care to get back in that situation. I mean, this situation here, even if I couldn't get a fire going, I have my burner. And 9 times out of 10, I like having a burner just for that simple fact. You know, I was actually kind of worried about coming out here because it's been raining so much so lately. I was worried that any wood that I could find would be, you know, too wet, too damp to get a fire going. Tried finding some sizable logs, dead standing timbers, or small trees, and honestly I had a hard time finding it. This is a lot of smaller stuff that's down. Holy crap. You hear those crows? It's like a giant flock of them over in the trees over there, and they are freaking loud. You gotta be able to hear it. You guys better be glad I ain't got a 22, because I can shoot you guys. I always heard crow tastes like chicken. Yeah, that fire's good and hot. I can feel it. But I want to get everything kind of set up and ready. That way I'm not scrambling come dark time, you know, whenever I got to start cooking. But I'm going to do like I did last time. Like I said, the steak's different this time. This time we have a T-bone. And T-bone, and we got some more bacon. We're going to do like we did last time. I'm baking it up and for a snack, and then slowly cook that.
Oh man, that's getting hot. Slowly cook there. Or, I'm sitting a little bit too close to it. Now, I did have a question on my last adventure. I guess I didn't show this good enough, what this was. A pocket box. It's got the brand right there. But one side is camouflage. One side is bright signal orange. It's like a double layer. It's got grommets on the side. It's one of my... It's just one of those nice things to have handy. Like I said, I should have used that actually whenever... I gotta back up. My knees are on fire. But it's one of those nice things to have handy. That's a hot fire. Oh man. When like what I'm doing right now, cooking, I got it down. It's a clean surface that I can actually lay stuff on. You know, I ain't got to worry about it too much. If I was kneeling down on the ground or sitting down on the ground, I should have used that. Actually, would have saved me, you know, from my knees and my butt getting damp or dirty. It makes for a real quick, easy seat, real fast. Something you just sit down and no problem. If you notice, I've been itching a lot and everything. I found a tick on my hand a little bit ago, and that wouldn't worry so much. You know, it's to be expected right now. It's definitely tick season. What bothered me is it was the larva form of the tick, and the larva form of them suckers are like the size of a needle head or eye of a needle. No joke. That I don't like. I hate them when they're that small. Oh crap. Got a little bit of fire in there. That thing ain't fireproof, that's for sure. Burn a little hole in there. But like I said, it ended up getting, you know, I barely felt it on me. I was writing something down and felt it on my hand. And I got to looking, I thought it was just a little bug, and I went like that, you know, just a little spider or something, nothing real big. And when it wouldn't come off, I got to looking real close, and yeah, it was a deer tick. I think a deer tick. It was so small I couldn't really tell, but it did have that look. So every little, I'm just, you know, kind of give you the heebie-jeebies. When I get home tomorrow, I'm going to have to definitely do a thorough inspection. Every nook and cranny. Because like I said, the big ones, it's no big deal. You can spot them pretty easily. Especially me. I'm pretty white. It stands out pretty good. Some little suckers, yeah. Them ones hide pretty good. Like I said, I do believe that's what gave my, you know, my family member Lyme's disease was one of them little suckers. And that's another thing too. I had somebody message me about using the flask for cooking oil, and they really like that idea and everything else. And another thing I like about it, and I failed to mention this in my last video, is when you're doing this kind of nesting cup system, like when you got the smaller pot and the bigger pot and all that, if you look, it kind of goes right with the contour of it, and it fits right in there. So it's just one less item taking up space in the pack. You know, it works really, really well, and I highly recommend. You know, bad thing about it is freaking flasks are expensive. I was actually looking, it's like, all right, so how much is a decent flask? Because that flask there is, what is going on? Snagging on something. That flask there is not good quality at all. I mean, honestly, the outside of it is great. The lid of it sucks. This is a plastic lid on a stainless steel body, or I don't even know if it's stainless steel, but yeah, it's garbage. It's not a quality item. It was one of the more letdown items from a past battle box, and honestly, that was back whenever they were still doing theme boxes, and I don't even know what theme that was. I can't even really remember. But yeah. Alright. So the fire's burnt down here pretty good. Let's get these. Nothing beats a good pair of heavy duty leather gloves when it comes to messing with fire and cooking and stuff like that. These are a really nice, decent pair of gloves that Firebox from Firebox Stove. It's their brand. Really nice. Heavy duty. I mean, really heavy duty. Do you hear that? And now, the hoot owl. There's a hoot owl hooting. Alright, we got that going and getting it close to ready. I need. That's a Who Cooks For You. If you don't know what that is, that's what it sounds like when a hoot owl is calling like that. It sounds like that's what it sounds like he's saying. Who cooks for you? Normally you can do that and they'll hoot back, but he's not hooting back. He's not very sociable. Man, them crows are something else right now. Holy cow. They are wanting to be heard. Alright, we are going to get this steak on. Need to get it all prepped up. Get that on there and get it going. Whew. While that's going, I'm going to start cooking up me some bacon. Just let that slow cook on there. I'm an option. Alright, let's get that in there. There we go. Sizzle, sizzle. Probably only going to make just a couple pieces. Well, it's bacon. Make a couple pieces up, so kind of as a snack, tide me over until steaks are ready, like I did the last time. Nothing really different, just let's save the rest of it for in the morning. Trust me, guys, every time I have one of these adventures, it ain't going to be bacon and steak every time, which, honestly, who can complain about bacon and steak? Alright. I had some other things planned for today, and yeah, sometimes you just never know. Things don't work out the way you want, and you gotta adapt. I want that steak to have a slow cook on it. I want the smoke flavor to get in there. Man, them crows are loud. Holy cow. I think they're really upset that I'm here. You guys better be glad I ain't got a 22. I'd be eating crow. Literally. Alright. Still cooking away. But like I just got snorted at by a deer down the trail a little ways down that way. Alright, we're gonna attempt. We'll try this. Attempt to flip it over. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Alright. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Just grab it up, flip it over, good to go. It's actually a lot lighter in the camera than what it really is out here. It's getting dark pretty quick. Usually right about now, yeah, let's say sundown should be right about now. This reminds me a lot of growing up. Growing up, I was pretty fortunate as a kid to have a group of real close friends that lived really close by. We all lived, pretty much on the same roads. And from the age of, I don't even know, 11, 12, we were riding four-wheels and being country kids, living out in the country, you grew up in a different time. It was a totally different time. But we were allowed to use those four-wheelers as a means of transportation to get back and forth to each other, doing odd jobs in the summertime. Every one of us had a four-wheeler. We kind of had our own. There was 5 of us all together. We kind of had our own little four-wheeler posse, I guess you could say. But those were some of the greatest memories I can remember. Like I said, it was a totally different time back then, Things we did back then, yeah, I don't really think you can be allowed to do nowadays. We would go out on the four-wheelers and we would ride all day and then camp, pretty much. I mean, when I say camp, we were cowboy camping, We didn't have a tent. We didn't even have sleeping bags. We'd pull up, make a little fire ring, make a fire. 9 times out of 10, whatever we could snag out of our parents' refrigerator or freezer that they wouldn't miss, that's what we were cooking. I don't know how many times we tried cooking bacon on a stick or hamburger patty balls on the end of a stick. Yeah, we had a blast. We had a lot of fond memories. Alright, I think the bacon's pretty much good and done. Ooh, it's hot. Whew. That is not cold at all. Oh, that's good bacon. Man, it looks so much brighter in the camera than what it really is out here. It's actually pretty dark in this undercover. It's just kind of funny how much the camera actually makes it brighter. But I got the steak off there. I got it resting in my pan right now. Just letting it rest, cooling off so I can actually eat it. Oh, that bacon was good. I love bacon. But I went ahead and loaded up the fire some more. Not for any heat or anything, but if anything, just help keep the bugs down a little bit and kind of... you gotta have a campfire when you camp, right? Funny little memory popped into my head after I was reminiscing, talking about my childhood and everything on the four-wheelers, and I can't believe I almost forgot about it, but scary but funny story. And I'm not going to say any names or anything, but well, I'll just tell you a story. And I can honestly say none of our parents know this story. Here I am, 41 years old. And, yeah. You know, we were really young. We were probably 12, 13, 14 years old, somewhere around there, maybe even 15. And it was during those days that we would do four-wheel riding, camping and everything. And we could, like I said, we go riding all day and then we camp at night and stuff. And funny thing happened one night. We riding around throughout the day and kind of diminished our supply of water from the day, and we needed to refill our water. But it was after dark, so we didn't want to go back home, wake up our parents, make them upset, which we should have just did. We should have just went home, said we need water, and went back, And instead, I don't know whose idea it was, but we all knew of the spring. We've seen it hundreds of times. Out on a back dirt road, there's a pipe. It's an old spring. It looked like there used to be an old spring house there, because there's old sandstone walls coming out of the side of a hill, you know what I mean? And it's got a pipe that comes out, and it's a natural artesian spring with water flowing out of it. And it's a spring. Should be clean. Should be fresh. So we rode down there and filled up all our water bottles and everything and headed on back to camp. And that's what we drank for, the remainder of the night. Well, wasn't long into after getting back from camp and everything. We're drinking this water and everything, and the rest of the night, honestly, is a little bit fuzzy. I don't know exactly what happened, but I can honestly say that we were, for lack of better terms, I really don't know the technical terms for it. We were out of our minds. Hallucinating, laughing uncontrollably, probably the closest thing you could ever imagine to probably like a LSD acid high. And I really believe it wasn't long after that, like I said, and it wasn't just one of us, it wasn't just two of us, it was all of us. And there was no drugs or alcohol involved. We were just young kids. We were drinking water. It wasn't years later that, we were scared, felt like crap the next day. We weren't right for days after that. We were sick. But it wasn't until years later, talking about it amongst us and everything, that we kind of figured out that on top of that hill there's a field. And it's a crop land field and everything. And I do believe that they spray that field with pesticides or fertilizer and pesticides. So that water was probably contaminated. Like, we poisoned the crap out of ourselves, I think, to the point where we were hallucinating and everything else. Probably lucky we didn't die. Mom, Dad, sorry I didn't tell you about this back then, but honestly, we were young kids and didn't know better. But to this day, as a group of friends and everything, we look back and laugh our butts off. But at the same time, as adults, we realize how serious that was and how bad that could have been. And yeah. All right, so enough reminiscing and time to tear into this steak. Probably could eat it right out of the pan. I drained off all the bacon grease. There's still a little bit in there, but ain't gonna hurt nothing. Oh, that smells so good. That smells yummy. Get my knife out. But I don't know if you can see it or not, but how does that look? Oh, if only there was smell-o-vision. You guys' mouths would be watering right now. I'm telling you. Tell you what, if someone's ever looking for an invention to make, smell-o-vision. If you make smell-o-vision, you're going to be a billionaire. Just a little tip. Threw some more wood on the fire. Let this burn down, and then, yeah, I'm going to probably go ahead and batten up the hatches a little bit. Right up a little bit, just in case it does start to storm. I need to check the weather before I hit the hay. And, yeah, it's been a pretty good day. I'm getting pretty tired, though. I've been up about since 4:30 in the morning. It's about, it's almost 9:30 now. Had a pretty busy morning. You know, the setting up the hammock and everything twice. Like I said, adding on all the little things. So far, you know, initial impressions, I really like it. You can definitely see the quality in it. But it does fall in that category of the buy once, cry once. You know, it's not your common man price, I guess you could say. You know, in my mind, a common man price would be a snug pack hammock, a one tigress hammock. You know, in that price range and everything. You know, you got your upper echelon level. That's kind of what this is. But you know, there's nothing wrong with those other ones. Don't get me wrong. You can get by just fine, as I showed in my last adventure. I mean, I went through a 26 degree, you know, night with that and then did absolutely fine. It's just, this has got all the bells and whistles. Does that make sense? You had your stock model. This is all your bells and whistles, you know, and be able to lay down flat and everything else, you know. For the amount of time that I have planned ahead of me in the future, it only makes sense for me to make an investment like this to where, you know, it's super lightweight. It's, you know, adaptable to whatever situation I'm in. And that was my biggest thing, you know, reasoning for that. As, you know, for example, I think my next adventure is going to actually be an on the water adventure. You know, not on the water, but I guess say on the creek's edge, maybe. Maybe kayaking, do some fishing, camp along, you know, the bank. overnight, do one of them deals. And to make that happen, because I'm not going to be using a canoe, I'm going to be using a kayak. So to make something like that happen, we're really going to have to consider, a super lightweight minimalistic loadout. Not to mention I'll be taking a fishing pole, some extra gear. And definitely extra clothing and things like that. Because that, when you start going down that realm, it's a whole different ball game. There's a whole different set of stuff that you need. But, yeah, I wanted it to kind of work out this time, but timing wasn't right. Weather, everything. It would have been stupid for me to try. Just downright ignorant. After I got done eating my steak, I had to take the boom for a little walk down the trail a ways and pitched it down there. I'm not really worried about anything coming into camp, except for we have a pretty healthy population of skunks. Anything else I can deal with. Raccoon, possum, I don't really care about that. Fox. But skunk, that's a whole nother level there. The wilderness has definitely settled into nighttime. It is quiet, except for some weird engine noise that way. Sounds like somebody mowing. Who would be mowing at 9:30 at night in the dark? It's just funny sometimes to stop and listen. Especially when it's this quiet. There's nothing moving around me. You can hear the crackle of the fire beside me. But in the distance, you hear a lot of different noises. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and let that fire burn down a little bit. I'm going to get off camera and yeah, I'll get back with you once I get all snuggled up in the hammock. See you in a minute. Alright guys, so I'm all tucked away and wrapped up in the hammock. I got I don't know if I said or not, but the Snug Pack jungle blanket. That's what I'm using as a top covering. I don't have an undercoat on. I can feel my back's a little cool. I think I'll be all right. I don't think it's going to be too bad. It's 65 now. If anything, it's only going to drop 5 more degrees. And as it stands right now, I feel pretty comfortable. The balance between coolness on my back and warmth on my top is making me really comfortable, in all honesty. But yeah, so far, this sucker is comfortable. It's really, really nice. I think I got the shelf on the side here a little bit too overloaded. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I do, because it's wanting to push on me a little bit. I might have too much stuff in there. I got some battery banks and things like that in there, kind of pushing on it. So yeah, not just battery banks, but I got all kinds of crap in there, to be honest with you. Just stuff for easy reach. But yeah. This inside ridgeline's real nice too, because you can hang. I got the phone hanging from this inside ridgeline. I got the lantern hanging right above my head. Makes it a lot easier for you guys to see me. But yeah, so far so good. I'm liking it. It's definitely, it looks like I'm being crowded, but I'm actually not. I mean, I got a nice little pocket here. I'm pretty much almost laying exactly flat, and the way I'm kind of sitting in here is my head's a little bit raised up, so I almost don't need a pillow or anything. I mean, it's amazing how comfortable this really is. But every time I move, though, this starts rocking. But yeah, so the fire burned down, and I think it's time for me to go to bed. It's early. It's only 10:30, but I don't know. Maybe if I have a hard time sleeping, maybe I'll watch a movie on the phone real quick or something. Fall asleep to that, but I don't know. All right, guys. Good night. I'll see you in the morning. Morning, guys. It's about almost 5:30 in the morning. I just got up. Got some coffee going. Had to, I woke up and had to pee. Something terrible. So I pretty much bailed out of the hammock. Didn't even put my boots on. Went running over by the tree and took a leak. And I had to go something fierce. But, I slept pretty good. Slept comfortably. I did get a little cold though. Halfway through the middle of the night I had to put my hoodie on. Even then my back kept getting cold. I honestly should have put the underquilt on. The top of me was fine. That jungle blanket kept me snug on the top of me. It was just my back. My back kept getting a chill on it, you know. That was about it. But as far as the sleep actually went, oh man, you want to talk about comfortable. That was really, really comfortable. I know it probably sounds like I'm exaggerating, but no. I did. It was something else. At some point in the middle of the night, too, I was dying of thirst. So, what I did was, I actually I had water in my cup, my Pathfinder cup. And I had it sat down, and I had the lid on it. But I had it sitting there, so if I needed it, I could, easily reach out and pick it up, get a drink if I needed it. Wow. Yeah. Boy, what good ideas go wrong. What ended up happening, rinse this sucker out good. What ended up happening, so, middle of the night, wake up, thirsty, dry mouth, reach out, get a hold of it, take the lid off, get about here where the water's touching my mouth, and it happened to be just a little bit of a glare from I think it was from my phone. I could see the bottom of the cup reflection as I tilted up, and I see a spider that big moving around on the bottom of the cup where yeah, more or less you're half awake, you see that. All I know is I threw the cup out and I spit the water out, not in the hammock, outside the hammock luckily. But man, that was not a pleasant wake-up call. Yeah, I know what did it. Which learning lesson? The Pathfinder cup has those slots on the sides here, so you can actually put their pot hanger in there, and you can actually hang the cup if you needed to. It's obviously a perfect access point for a freaking bug. Better yet, a tarantula. I don't know what kind of spider it was. All I know, it was a freaking big one that I almost drank. So, big enough. It is like, I don't know if I said this or not, it's like 5:30 in the morning. Sun isn't up yet. Probably it's starting to get light right now. The woods are starting to come alive, the birds are chirping, everything's waking up. It is starting to get light. It's starting to be able to see throughout the woods. It didn't rain last night, and I looked at the weather, and from what I can tell, looks like the weather system changed all around. I don't think it is going to rain. There's a little chance maybe later on today that it might rain, but they're saying no rain. It's, as much as it's been raining lately, I'll take it. Alright, so coffee is done, and boy, it's still hot. Alright, so while my coffee's cooling down, it's still too hot to drink. Still getting light out. Still not bright enough really to move around just yet with the light. So, but I think in this spare time, I'm going to go ahead and work on my adventure journal log entry for this trip. And I haven't talked about that much, but if you're wondering what that is more or less for every adventure I'm going to do a log entry, and it's just pretty much my inner thoughts, just a way for me to jot down things in my head, things that pass through my head. Yeah, sometimes it's not easy to get what's in here out of here, and I find that writing sometimes makes it a lot easier. And yeah, if you're ever interested in what the journal entry is for, go to www.commonfamilysurvival.com, and there'll be a tab on that page where it says Adventure Journal. And for every new episode, the same day that the episode releases on YouTube, the log entry releases for this too. Just another way that you can join me on these little adventures and everything. So if you want to check that out, go there, check it out. But I like every now and again, little pictures of the trip and stuff like that I'll post in there too. So, but yeah, check that out if you want. Well guys, as you can see behind me, everything's all cleaned up. I went ahead and packed up. I got to looking at the weather again, and it looks like the storms have shifted. They're headed this way. They're pretty good storms and everything. And I know I planned on, it storming and everything. But in all honesty, if I could get everything put away and packed up before it got soaking wet, that's all the more better. There ain't nothing worse than having to go home, lay everything out, let it dry, and then put it away. So you got to put things away twice. And, it is what it is. Comes with the territory. But if I can get away from that step, I definitely will. But, yeah. If you made it all the way to the end of this adventure, I greatly appreciate it. Our next adventure, we're going to do something definitely different. Like I said, it's up in the air. We'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping maybe do an on the water adventure. We'll see. With all blessings from above, maybe we might be able to make that happen. So, if not, we'll adapt and do something else. So, but, hey guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Hit the bell for notifications so that way you know whenever we upload every video. And we are sticking to the every Wednesday upload schedule. So for now, but yes, every Wednesday there will be an upload schedule. Weekly upload, one adventure every month, gear reviews every week. And if you want to dig a little deeper into this little adventure, make sure you go to www.commonfamilysurvival.com. Check out my adventure journal post. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you later.